this is a channel for dealing with breakups and stuff, but it seems like the videos do better without my whole, hey there, I'm the better coach intro. So if you don't know, past videos have my intro, but I'm here to talk about breakup and dating stuff. Welcome. In today's video, I talk about vetting your partner for the possibility of moving from exclusively dating to a committed partnership. There are some things that you want to pay attention to and notice in order to help determine if this is the right person for you. This is likely the shortest phase of the dating process, and you can see a past video about relationship categories or labeling your relationships to understand the 7 relationship categories that I identify. But going from an exclusive dating partner to a committed relationship might not take as much time as maybe when you're casually dating multiple people and deciding on the one person who you want to exclusively date. Because in the exclusive dating realm, you are focused only on this one person, so you're more quickly able to get to understand who they are and how you guys work together. So the idea of moving to more of a committed partnership may kind of naturally start to happen because you're spending more time together and you're becoming more emotionally and practically invested in one another's lives. But it is still an important thing to differentiate between exclusively dating and having a committed partnership. And I watched something recently where someone mentioned that they're not a big fan of the exclusive dating idea because they kind of feel like, well, if you're going to be in a pseudo relationship, why not be in a relationship? And here are my thoughts. The exclusive dating phase is just deciding that you are going to focus on one person in your dating process, but it is not deciding that you are yet trying to build something together, build a life together, do more committed things like maybe move in together or have kids or get engaged or get married or join certain finances, I don't know, sign on one another's loan. These more committed tasks. When you are exclusively dating someone, you are really intentional about spending time together, being in the same spaces together, maybe trying out staying at each other's places, all of these things to really help feel out how this will feel when you are in more of a committed partnership and also joining more important aspects of your lives together. So I do think there is value in exclusively dating someone for a period of time before choosing to actually commit to the relationship. And this is from the perspective of myself just as a person and my personal experiences, but also my professional experiences as a therapist, because so many times couples come into couples therapy and it becomes clear that had they had more of a formalized dating process, they may have decided not to even move forward with the relationship, or they would have at least worked out certain things before they got to that committed stage. It is all too often that people are already very committed in their relationships before they come to realize there are certain things that they can't tolerate or that are really a problem for them in their lives. And by then, it's a harder thing to work out, and it's a much harder thing to extract yourself from the relationship if you have kids or you live together or you're married or any of these things that intertwine our lives more and more. So I do think there's value in differentiating between casually dating, exclusively dating, and committed relationship or committed partnership. But to my point of it being a shorter phase, it may not be for some people. Some people may exclusively date someone for a long period of time and not be committed to joining their lives together or building something moving forward. That is a choice for each person to decide, and hopefully you're making an informed decision by actually vetting people, which is what this video will talk about. And also just know that this is part 3 of a 3-part series about vetting your dating partners. So there are 2 previous videos around vetting your partners in different dating phases. But to the point of this being a shorter phase, I say that because at the point in which you are exclusively dating someone, you've already casually dated them. So you have experience and you have a good sense of how you feel about them and how you guys work together. And so the movement into a committed partnership likely happens fairly naturally because you just start to notice yourselves naturally going into more committed situations with one another. So the conversation that you have about moving from exclusively dating to a committed relationship is not likely as formal as the conversation that you have when you're moving from casually dating to exclusively dating. And see the previous video, part 2, about that conversation, which is a very important conversation to have. And so when you are moving from exclusively dating to a committed partnership, there is still a conversation to be had, which I will explain later in this video, but it may not have to be as official or as clear cut as the conversation you would have when moving from casually dating to exclusively dating. Hey, I just want to take a moment to mention my Better Breakup Recovery Program, which launches November 1st. It's an 8-week group coaching program for women who are recovering from breakups. You get a digital course, a PDF workbook, a members-only Facebook group, and you get group coaching calls with me. There's also an option for some one-on-one calls as well. But if you have any interest at all, join my email list or join the Better to Better wait list. Both links are in this video description. All right, I'm back with my handy-dandy list that I had from the previous video. In this case, I'm going down the list of things that you are likely vetting for in this phase of dating. So when you are considering making someone a committed partner and wanting to commit to someone as a partner, you are vetting them for you're vetting one another for shared values and philosophies and life goals. But you're also noticing how you guys move and interact together in the world to see if this is someone who you actually want to join forces with and have some sort of long-term commitment with. So you are noticing how this person socializes, how they socialize with their friends and family, your friends and family, how they socialize with the general public, how they treat people, and if that aligns with the way that you want to treat people as well. You're looking at how it feels to go out on dates with this person and them being the only person who you're going on dates with, unlike when you're casually dating and you're dating multiple people. So how does it feel to know that this is the one person who you're going out with and spending a significant amount of your time with? Also, you're looking at how you guys travel together, if you guys like to travel. Are your travel goals aligned? Do you like to travel and this person likes to travel as well? Or is there a mismatch there? And when you do travel, is it generally enjoyable or is it really stressful? Do you guys have very different traveling styles? Are you able to reconcile those styles, or is it a problem? You're noticing things like how you guys work around money, how things are paid for, how one another save, how you guys invest or plan for the future financially. Do these things match up and align? Or even if they're different, are they tolerable for you and for both people? So you're noticing what it's like to spend a significant amount of time together, sleeping over at one another's places, again, going away and traveling, spending hours together out and about, taking road trips, or any of these sort of things. You're just paying attention to how it feels to spend a lot of time with this person. You're looking at what it's like to spend time in one another's spaces. So are there any, idiosyncrasies or habits that annoy you about the person, or habits of yours that annoy them? Is it something that you guys are able to smoothly navigate, or is it a big problem? You're noticing these sort of behaviors and the ways that you handle interactions when you are in one another's living spaces. You're noticing what the sexual chemistry is like, what that physical relationship is like. Are you both fulfilled? Are you enjoying it? Is it meeting your needs? You're paying attention to the idea that this is a person this would be the one person who you are planning to have sex with. How does that feel? Does it seem like a good choice? And then you're discussing dreams, goals, plans. Are your dreams, goals, plans aligned? Not are they all the same, but does the things that this person wants for themselves and their family and their life fit well with what you want for yourself and your family and your life? This is around having children, parenting children, whether you guys would have a blended family or a step family. This is around where you want to live. This is around how you want to invest your money or plan for retirement. This is around any personal aspirations that you each have. This is around business and career. What are those things like? You need to have these type of conversations to really start getting a feel for how you guys match up. So just some examples of things that of specific topics that you might want to pay attention to. So when it comes to like values and philosophies, there's politics, religion, parenting. I mean, the list can go on, but those are just a few. Then when it comes to like habits and behavior, things around smoking, hygiene, cleanliness of your space, organization of your space, travel, health, fitness, these sort of lifestyles, behaviors, and habits, noticing what those are like for the both of you. Then there's also things around goals, like I said. So career goals, financial goals, family planning goals, all of those sort of things. There's a book that I've recommended in a previous video. It's called The Hard Questions, and the author is Susan Piver, Piver. When I go down lists like this, it makes me think of that book because it's a small little book of a bunch of questions in various topics that are very helpful for couples to ask themselves. It's great to ask yourself the questions individually so that you can get an understanding of how you feel about these different topics, and then to also have the conversation and ask the questions with your partner so that you guys can understand where you are and aren't on the same page. And it's a very good primer for having important conversations around topics that you guys may want to find more alignment on. And it brings up, potential big issues that you guys need to decide if you're going to be able to work out and figure out, or if you're not. Because part of this vetting process is about figuring out if you even want to continue a relationship with someone. Having conversations about these topics can be a very important way of figuring that out. Finally, let's talk about having the conversation of moving from exclusively dating to a committed partnership. In summary, the point that you're trying to get across is we've been dating only one another for X period of time. I'm at the point in which I am interested in having a committed relationship, and I want to know if you are interested as well. I think we align on X, Y, and Z, or any things where we didn't align, we've been able to work through them, or we have each made our compromises in places that we feel it is appropriate to compromise, and I'd like to be fully committed to one another. And then also part of that conversation is talking about what that commitment looks like. Are we moving in together? Do we already live together? Do we already have children, or do we want to have children? Do we both have plans for marriage? What do we want our committed lifestyles to look like? This is where you have that conversation. So part of the conversation is you expressing your desire to be in a committed partnership. And the other part of the conversation is you guys discussing what that looks like. Obviously, you are wanting to get this person's consent and agreement that they want to be in this committed partnership, and that you guys have a shared understanding of what that committed partnership looks like. All right, that's everything. This was a pretty short and sweet video because it gets right to the point on just seeing if you guys really align on very important values, philosophies, and goals. Because if you don't, these can be very hot button issues throughout your relationship if they are important things to each person. If there are certain things that you would prefer but are not high value or very important to you, then you may be okay compromising on them. But if they are very high value items to you, they're not things that I recommend you compromise on. I always say compromise on your preferences, don't compromise on your deal breakers. Compromising on your deal breakers is settling, and settling leads to resentment. And resentment is a killer of relationships. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click the link to join my email list. See you soon.